difference in approach between Adam Aron and Ryan Cohen.
That's right. Different strokes here, Kelly. These two have taken very different approaches in the way that they harness the retail trader. Let's start with Adam Aron. He took over as AMC CEO 5 years ago, and analysts really describe his tactics as what you'd expect from a more old school hospitality executive, putting the customer, and in this case, the investor first. Aron was the CEO for them. Now over to Ryan Cohen. For one, he's about 30 years younger than Aron. Cohen is the former founder of Chewy. He's also the chairman right now of GameStop's board, so not the CEO. And although he owns about 12% of that company, what he says really goes at GameStop. He has been the face of this company lately. And Cohen is not as explicit in this outreach to the Reddit crowd. One analyst described it as the Elon Musk approach. Cohen's tweet.
You know, I was watching something the other day on GME, and I know that a lot of you guys out there are hodling both of these stocks, GME and AMC. And I know we don't cover it that heavily here on this channel. We mainly focus on AMC. But I started thinking about what happened last summer when they both went on their unbelievable runs and how each CEO reacted to that, what they did, and in hindsight, looking back now, who made the better decision for their company for the long term, and based off what they did, what effect could that have on a possible short squeeze for AMC or GME going forward? I want to take a quick look at the box office receipts. Lightyear was supposed to roar in with like a $120 million opening weekend. Is this business model sustainable by Disney going forward? What does it mean for AMC theaters? And these people, as I'll show you in the article, understand this is going to happen. They know this is coming. A $200 million budget, and they got $50 million on opening weekend. Lightyear makers unfazed by bans in places with backwards beliefs. It wasn't banned in this country, but let's just say it didn't have the turnout maybe that everyone expected. And before I let you go, I want to introduce you to the newest senior advisor, or at least appointee, to the State Department on foreign affairs, specifically with China, the executive order, and Chinese tech and military stocks. What's his background and what does this mean for that order going forward? We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. But before we get way too far ahead of ourselves,
shoot the speeder.
Good evening, beautiful people. Guys, what's going on? It's Wednesday, June 23rd, 2022. We're going to finish up a video about the insiders and their take on both Cohen and Adam Aron's actions. But before we do that, I had mentioned if I had missed you in the last couple of weeks, whether for a shout out or for a chat from the live stream, please try to make it to the end of the video. And if you don't, I got to say thank you right now. Some of you may have noticed the other day, the last video I uploaded, there was a tag or sticker that came with it on the video directing you to Wikipedia. I sure as hell didn't put it there. That's from YouTube, and I don't think you guys asked for it, but I would expect to see those in the future going forward, even though we didn't talk about the pandemic at all. At this juncture right now, we could say that YouTube is on to the Massalorian. So for all of you guys who have helped so much in whatever way it is, thank you.
It's so interesting. Every analyst I talk to is confounded. They don't know. They say, you know, this would be a great thing. They could raise money to really do this turnaround strategy, potentially M&A, maybe buy a tech company to actually implement this tech strategy. People are scratching their heads, and they say that, you know, that also adds to some of the mystery around Ryan Cohen. Why hasn't he done this? It could be that they're waiting for a new CEO. The current CEO is on the way out. Ryan Cohen really has been a leader here, but it's unclear. It seems like a win-win. AMC has done this and gotten a lot of praise, and the shareholders are happy. He's happy, and like you guys mentioned in the last segment, you know, there are insiders that are selling, seeing this as an opportunity. The CEO, meanwhile, diamond hands, if you want to use that reference, he is not selling, which retail traders love.
Yes, absolutely. But you do wonder if GameStop could look back at a missed opportunity here if they don't do something quickly, maybe like you said with new leadership. Kate, thank you.
Thanks.
Kate.
Okay, so that was the take a year ago. Remember, the insiders on AMC were selling when we were at some of the all-time highs. We were coming down off that 72 run, and Cohen was hodling his shares. And I guess you could say to a point so was Adam Aron, because he didn't end up dumping his compensatory shares till way later in the year. But the insiders at AMC were selling. And I don't know if that's going to be the right decision going forward for the company or not for GME, if they should have tried to raise that capital back then. They did end up raising some capital a little further down the road, I think right after Q3. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. Whether you hold AMC or GME or both, who do you think has done a better job for the company fundamentally? And who do you think puts us in the best position right now for the short squeeze? I want to get more in depth into GME, but I want to bring on someone who's a little more knowledgeable than I am, let's say. So I'm going to have someone on tonight for the live stream. We have a guest coming on who goes in depth with GME almost every day. We're going to try to pick his brain, maybe give a bearish case for GME and see what the counter argument is coming from the bulls, but just really to go over all of the things that are coming up for GME that could have effect on a short squeeze. So I hope you can come by tonight and make it at 9:30. We'll be going on. All right, now the box office this weekend. Pixar's Lightyear underwhelms with $51 million debut as Jurassic World stays #1. Lightyear, a spin-off story set in Pixar's Toy Story universe, fell short of that boundless milestone in its box office debut, collecting a lackluster $51 million from 4,000 North American theaters. Family audiences and movies' prime demographic have been largely absent since COVID, but even so, those ticket sales are disappointing for a brand as recognizable as Pixar, home of Incredibles, Finding Nemo, and Up. It's particularly problematic given that Lightyear cost $200 million to produce and tens of millions more to market. This article was actually from 2 days ago, and in here it says the makers of Disney Pixar's new blockbuster about Buzz Lightyear told the Associated Press on Thursday that they were warned of a likely backlash against some of the same-sex marriage it features, but did not care. More than a dozen Muslim-majority countries have refused to show Lightyear, a sci-fi spin-off from the Pixar classic Toy Story, set for global release on Friday in opposition to the marriage between two female side characters. We were warned this would be the likely outcome, producer Galen Sussman told AFP in a Zoom interview. We weren't going to change the movie we wanted to make just because of a few countries with, for a lack of a better term, backwards beliefs. Interesting. That sounds a little xenophobic to me, but okay. So yeah, I guess the makers are unfazed, even though right now they're in the hole for at least $200 million. And I can't imagine next weekend is going to be bigger than the opening weekend. Reviews for Star Wars, Kenobi just came back. That's not a movie. But again, it's Disney, and their product they're putting out is terrible. Obi-Wan actually left the planet 5 minutes after he had just rescued Luke from a homicidal maniac Sith. But yeah, I don't know how much longer this is sustainable for. We're going to find out soon when we see the numbers come back in Q2 and Q3. I'm going to bet they're going to be in trouble. This gentleman right here was just appointed by Secretary of State Antony Blinken. The Biden administration's pick to advise the State Department on strategic competition with Beijing chairs an investment think tank that urged Americans to triple their investments in China. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Friday selected BlackRock Investment Institute chairman and Obama administration National Security Advisor Tom Donilon to co-chair the Foreign Affairs Policy Board amid the State Department's pivot to China. Donilon's work at BlackRock could pose a conflict of interest for the board, which provides advice, feedback, and perspectives to senior State Department officials on foreign policy matters. Under his leadership, the Investment Institute has urged investors to dramatically increase their stakes in Chinese companies. What's more, BlackRock views strategic competition with China as bad for the company's bottom line. Strategic competition between the U.S. and China and resulting tensions have also contributed to uncertainty, here we go, in the geopolitical and regulatory landscapes, reads BlackRock's most recent annual report. The firm listed U.S.-Chinese competition as a factor that could hurt its revenue and profit. BlackRock opened a mutual fund in China in September, making it the first American firm approved to sell financial products there. BlackRock's Chinese entanglements have raised concerns that the company is undermining the United States. The company has come under fire for investing in sanctioned Chinese companies, including surveillance giant Hikvision. Even progressive mega donor George Soros called BlackRock's investments in China a tragic mistake that would damage U.S. national security interests. Jeez, that's like DARPA telling Fauci, bro, you can't be messing around and trying to create some kind of hybrid super virus. Future generations of Americans will judge today's leaders harshly for squandering this moment, Donlin wrote in an article touted by China Daily, a mouthpiece for the Chinese Communist Party. These are the people this administration is putting into these places of power. The generations coming up behind us, they're going to wipe out their future. They are currently wiping it out right now. Okay, so this video is running extra long. I'm going to cut it here and start to get ready for tonight's live stream. I hope you guys can make it. 9:30, we'll be talking GME and a few other things. Just want to make sure we introduce you to the newest monster on the block. If you made it this far in the video, if you wouldn't mind clicking the like button for me, even though we're not monetized normally, it does help the algorithm. As always, guys, thanks for the likes, the views, the comments, my new subscribers, my OGs. I appreciate each and every one of you. Fucking bitch. As always, guys, thank you for the likes, the views, the comments, my new subscribers, my OGs. I appreciate each and every one of you. We're here to break the wheel. This is Ape Nation. I'm the Massalorian, and I'm out. So what you're looking at right now are the last two stat cards from my videos. The numbers of views and how much ad revenue it brought in, how many subscribers it brought in. Now the subscribers thing is awesome, amazing. The ad revenue ain't paying bills. So all the support I've gotten from all of you have allowed me to remain independent and have allowed me to keep the dialogue open and have this platform. So I am indebted to you, and I love all of you for everything that you've done in whatever way, shape, or form it is. Just know I appreciate all of it.